What's going on, beautiful and exotic women of the world? As exoticals, as beautiful women, we need to beware of women out there who are identity thieves. People who are out to take your personality, your looks, what you identify as. We need to be aware that there are people out here like this who mask themselves as your friends, as kind coworkers, as family that loves you. There are people out there who are studying you, who want what you have, want your identity, want what makes you you. And I want to talk about how to combat these people so that they literally cannot steal from you ever again. I was just sitting here thinking about some of the girls who I called friends back in my hometown who turned out to be haters, who turned out to be envious of me, and who I had noticed while I was friends with them did little things that signaled that they admired my personality but didn't want to give me props. And that's one of the biggest signs that someone is inspired by you, likes your personality, but doesn't want you to know it and also wants to take it for themselves, is when they leech off of your personality and identity to kind of elevate their own, even though they don't have a sense of self and they don't have a sense of identity or personality. And so one of the biggest signs I noticed with one girl who I left behind in the dust was every time we were in a group setting and I would make a joke or say something that was kind of funny, or a lot of people would kind of find it to be intriguing or interesting, she would then go and say it like a few minutes later to try to garner the same reaction out of people. And I noticed this about 3 times that she did that. There were things that I would say, whether it was like under my breath or like I would just kind of make a comment. She would then go and try and do the same thing. She would then go and try to say the same comment I made. And I used to think to myself, what's wrong with this girl? Like, does she not realize that I'm in the room and I can hear her? Like, does she not have an understanding of how inappropriate and weird that is, that you're gonna regurgitate someone's joke or regurgitate someone's comment that's kind of funny or insightful in a group setting because you found it interesting, but you don't want me to know it, so you're gonna try to use it for yourself in front of me. I always thought that was so weird of her. She's such a strange, weird bitch, because it's like, what would make you think that that's okay, And like the blatant disrespect of it all is like, you're doing it in front of me. Like, she didn't even hold on to the joke to say it in front of another group of friends. She said it in front of the people that I was with, in front of me, to get that same reaction from people, or to feel like she said it better, or I don't know what her reasoning was, but I always remember thinking to myself that she was a weirdo for that. I also remember this same girl, she would copy my outfits. So if I wore an outfit and let's say I posted it on Instagram, she would turn around and try to do the same thing a couple months later. And this is the same girl that would do the same thing with my captions. I have a few people from back home who I thought were my friends, or who were like acquaintances that I've hung out with before, who knew me enough to know about my identity and my personality, to covet it, so much so that they were stealing outfit ideas and captions for pictures, and that was another thing that she used to do. She used to like take captions I would use and wait months and think that I wouldn't remember that I used that on my picture and use it too. So after putting all of those 3 things together, like the fact that she would steal my comments and my jokes, the fact that she would steal my outfits, and the fact that she would steal my captions, like my creative juices, she was siphoning. And once I realized that and I put all of those together, I realized that this girl was never really around me to be cool with me or to be friends. She just wanted someone who she could use as a muse. She wanted someone who she could use to uplift her own identity in the eyes of others. And I think these people are really dangerous because they understand how amazing and inspirational you are and how people gravitate to you. They understand the magnitude and power of your identity and your personality. They understand your light. They see your star. But are they going to give you props for that? Absolutely not. This same girl that I'm talking about in this video refuses to watch my stories on Instagram all of a sudden. I think people get used to you being in a certain place, that when you finally excel and exceed, maybe you leave your hometown, you're doing better than them, whatever the case is, they can't watch you succeed and win, especially when they were only cool with you or around you or friends with you to get something from you. It's like, now that you're not around anymore, they don't really have a need to hold up that facade of being nice or playing the game with you. So now it's like, I really don't like you for real and I'm not gonna watch your stories. So now this same girl, she really watches my Instagram stories. And I know some people may be like, oh, that's petty, but I'm young. This is what we deal with in our generation. There's a lot of social media politics and etiquette on social media and things that people do that signal to you if they like you or not. And someone muting your stories or your posts screams that they're bothered, screams that they are insecure and uncomfortable with your growth, with your beauty, with how you're showing up, with the boundaries that you've broken in their own minds that they set for you. You know, there are a bunch of different things that you can pick up on with people, social media etiquette and how they handle you and treat you. And from all of the other evidence, including the social media stuff, that kind of put the nail in the coffin for me as to who she was. But you have to be so careful with people like her because they're out to siphon and appropriate your intellectual property, your creative property, the things that you have developed for yourself from yourself because you have an identity and you've created things. Even if it's a saying that you made or a slang that you came up with or a damn caption that you created. I don't care what it is. You know, some people may say, oh, that's petty. You know, you don't own a caption. You don't own an outfit. You don't own this. You don't own that. I don't care. I don't give a because at the end of the day, that could all be true. But if that person who is so inspired by me, so much so that they copied everything I said and did to a T, likes me so much or likes what I have to offer so much, they would give me my props. If someone doesn't give you your props for something, like if they blatantly ignore a joke you made or a comment you made that was really interesting or cool or whatever, and then they don't acknowledge it, like they literally try so hard to show you that they don't acknowledge you, but then they turn around and do the same thing, say the same things, use the same things in social settings, that lets me know that they are actually pressed and bothered by the fact that I'm the one that came up with that saying or slang or joke or whatever. Outfit, caption, you name it, okay? I don't care what it is. You are bothered that it was me, you know? They don't like that it's you, ladies. That's what I'm here to tell you. They don't like that it's you that is creative and people are in awe of you and how you're able to put pieces together or, you know, whatever you do for creative purposes. You know, some people don't like that it's you. They want it to be them. So they will find it so hard to congratulate you or to laugh at your joke or to, you know, acknowledge your presence. But they will use your essence, they will use your identity, they will use your creative and intellectual property as their own to uplift themselves. So the best way to combat identity thieves is to double down on your identity. It's to check them in the moment, even if they do it in a very covert way. That gives you an opportunity to check them in a covert way. And the reason why I love checking covert narcissists and people who are out to get you but don't want to make it obvious that they are is because I can then combat you in ways that are undetectable from other people and ways that will trigger you and let you know that I'm on to you. So if, say for example, you're in a situation that I was in where someone is literally regurgitating talking points that I use in a conversation or a joke or a comment that I made that literally was original to me, what I will do is say, oh wow, where'd you get that from? That was a great comment. Where'd you get that from? And just kind of look at them with this face of like, I dare you to lie right now. And then watch them stutter and squirm and try to worm and weasel their way out of answering the question directly, you know? And that way, when you do it that way, it kind of puts the attention back on them and it shows them that you peeped the game. And it also just kind of sheds light on their audacity. And then now they're embarrassed and now they have to kind of try to come up with some type of response to you, which will even further show that they are inspired by you. I always find that that's better than just saying, girl, stop copying me, or stop saying what I'm saying, or stop wearing what I'm wearing. You know, that doesn't work. That's childish. You have to put the attention back onto them since they wanted the spotlight, right? You put it back onto them and say, where'd you get that from? Wow, that outfit seems familiar. I love how you put that together. What inspired that? Oh, wow, that caption is so insightful. What inspired you? You know, and just put it back onto them so that they have to come to terms with the fact that you're that girl and that they stole from you and that they're trying to siphon your identity in whatever way that could be. Also, like I said, double down on who you are, double down on your identity. So if they tend to steal your talking points or your jokes, make talking points and jokes even more. When you're around them, don't stop. keep it going. Be so quick and witty with your responses that they can't even keep up, to the point where they can't even mentally remember the amazing things that you're saying. Like, just be so witty and so bubbly, just be quick on your feet, ladies. Be witty, be cutesy, be demure, but also be bubbly and be outgoing, to the point where these people cannot keep up with what you're saying, so that they can't use it for themselves a couple minutes from now. You know what I mean? Or just be so original that whenever you step outside of the box and you post something that's really creative or really amazing, them regurgitating that or them recreating that will signal very loudly that they are copying you. If you're super original with your stuff, whatever you're into, whatever you're doing, if you're super authentic, someone going out of their way to do what you're doing will send a very loud signal. It's not something that they can hide, because you've made it so that whatever you're portraying or putting out in the world is so authentic to you that if anyone tries to replicate it, they would have to give you your props. So ladies, drop down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box, so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.